Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're heading to Tunisia, to a place called Ichkeul National Park. And let me tell you, this isn't just a pretty spot. We're talking about a place of incredible beauty, sure, but it's also a critical link in a global chain, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, with a really dramatic story, and honestly, a pretty uncertain future.
Okay, so let's just jump right in. To really get a sense of Ichkeul, you've got to think on a massive scale. Look at this number. We're talking over 300,000 birds. And that's not over a year, that's at the same time. Ducks, geese, coots, all descending on this one spot. It's just a staggering, unbelievable concentration of life.
And this is why it's so important. This isn't just any park. Ichkeul is literally the last great freshwater lake of its kind. There used to be a whole chain of them stretching across North Africa, and this is what's left. So for these birds making the massive trek from Europe to Africa and back, it's not just a nice place to visit, it's an absolutely essential refueling station. It's life or death. So you might be wondering, what makes this one park so special that the whole world agrees it needs to be protected? Well, it all boils down to this official term, outstanding universal value. And what does that mean exactly? Basically, it means this place is so exceptional, so important, that its survival isn't just on Tunisia. Its value goes way beyond national borders. It belongs to all of us, to humanity. It's our shared heritage, and that makes it our shared responsibility to protect it. Okay, now here's where it gets really fascinating. The secret to Ichkeul's magic is this delicate dance between fresh and salt water. Think of it like a heartbeat. In the winter, rivers pump in fresh water, lowering the saltiness. Then, in the summer, the sun does its work, evaporation happens, and the lake gets saltier again. This whole seasonal rhythm, this back and forth, that's the engine that drives everything here. And because of that unique environment, the park is a safe haven for some really important species. We're talking about birds that are protected globally, like the white-headed duck or the marbled duck. These are species that are in trouble, threatened or vulnerable. For them, Ichkeul isn't just a rest stop, it's a lifeline. It's one of their last, best shots at survival. And it's not just about those famous birds either. The sheer amount of life here is just mind-boggling. You've got over 500 types of plants, more than 200 species of animals, plus all those migratory birds we talked about. It's this incredibly rich, complex web of life, and every single thread is connected back to that delicate balance of fresh and salt water. So you have this perfect, delicate system, but what happens when something throws it completely out of whack? Well, in the late 20th century, that's exactly what happened. Human intervention created a crisis that put the entire ecosystem on the verge of collapse. The problem started, as it so often does, upstream. Tunisia needed more water for its people and farms, which is understandable. So 3 dams were built on the very rivers that were the lifeblood of the lake. A decision made for human progress had, well, absolutely catastrophic consequences for this natural wonder. And this really breaks down the heart of the problem. You can see it here, the before and after. Before, you had this healthy seasonal flow of fresh water. That supported these huge, lush marshes that were basically a giant buffet for the birds. But after the dams, that freshwater flow was choked off. The salt levels in the lake shot through the roof. And the marshes? They just died. The food source was gone. This vibrant oasis was basically turning into a salty desert. Things got so bad, so quickly, that the rest of the world had to step in. The alarm bells started ringing loud and clear. This timeline really shows you that critical 10-year period. After the dams went up, the decline was fast. By 1996, the park was officially put on the list of World Heritage in danger. And that's a really big deal. It's not just a slap on the wrist. It's a global SOS. It's UNESCO telling the world, hey, we're about to lose this irreplaceable place forever. And UNESCO was crystal clear about why. This wasn't a natural disaster. It was a man-made crisis. The cause was obvious: the dams. The effect was devastating. And that meant the solution had to be just as intentional and human-led. So that begs the question, right? How did they pull it back from the brink? And now that the immediate crisis is over, what does the fight to preserve this place look like today? Because the story is far from over. Getting taken off the danger list in 2006 was a massive win, no doubt about it, a real victory.
But it wasn't a happily ever after moment. Not at all. It was more like the start of a whole new chapter, a really complex, nonstop effort to manage this fragile recovery. So, how are they doing it? Well, it's pretty high tech, actually. It's a three-pronged approach. First, constant monitoring. They're tracking everything: salt levels, bird counts, you name it. Second, they're using sophisticated computer models to figure out exactly how much water the park needs and when. And third, it's hands-on restoration work, literally rebuilding the marshes that were destroyed. And this gets to the heart of the challenge today, because those dams, they're still there. And Tunisia's need for water for its cities and its farms hasn't gone away. In fact, it's growing. So now you have this constant tug of war for every single drop of water. The park's survival literally depends on balancing its needs against the needs of the people. And that leaves us with this huge, critical question. A question that's not just about Ichkeul, but about so many precious places all over the world. As our demand for resources grows, how do we strike that balance? How do we provide for ourselves without destroying the irreplaceable ecosystems we depend on? It's a story that's playing out everywhere, a delicate balancing act with the highest